All right, welcome, remodelers. We got a little extra live workshop we're going to do right now. We're going to get into AI prompts for remodelers. And what we have is a 30-day challenge where every day I'll be going live and I'll show you some part of a prompt that you can use in your remodeling business for success. So today we're going to talk about one of the important things, and that's how you initially deal with prospects, right? We call it weeding the lead. And you have to have a process for this. That's the best way to do it. Once you have it set up, anybody in your company can do it. That's what makes it nice. So it doesn't have to be you. You can then hand this process, this script, this packet off to somebody in your office. If you're using an AI assistant or an answering service, you can provide them with that, and then they can help you go through and weed out your leads initially over the phone. In a perfect world, you have a dedicated person who works for you and they become an expert at this. So that's what we did in-house. We would have someone in our office that was a specialist at answering phone calls. Now, with today's technology, you can have that forwarded anywhere, right? Okay, so let's get started. What we're going to look at is, let me share my screen. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, so here we have the AI prompt challenge for remodelers. All right, so here we are with today's day one, and one of our pillars for success is sales, and you have to have a strategy for client conversions. So again, we're going to learn how to weed out the lead. Now, why this matters, right? Not every prospect that calls you is worth your time and energy. You're going to have many people call you, especially if you have an A-game marketing plan, right? Once you get outside of the world of just living off referrals, again, this is for remodelers who are looking to grow their business and more. For those of you that want to be more than just self-employed, right? If you're self-employed and you enjoy being on the job site and basically being in charge of everything, that's, getting the materials, installing the materials, working with the client, billing the client, estimating at night. If it's more of a one-man show and you just have a couple helpers, then this will still help you sift through. But ideally, this is set up for when you want to start growing that remodeling machine and you start a marketing campaign, right? You've completed a marketing plan and now you're advertising. And because of that, you're generating a lot of leads, and not all of these leads know you. Whereas in the referral world, most people know you, and those deals are much easier to close. The challenge is that if you want to grow past $500,000 to $1 million plus in sales, most people have to get past just having referrals. Okay. Referrals are great. They're slam dunks, but there's a whole other side of business where you just attack the market and get clients in. All right. So this weed the lead process, I have a whole framework for it. You can go to the remodelingacademy.com and look at weed the lead. You can download the actual. So we have a basic sheet that you can use right now today. You don't even have to type in an AI prompt. It's already been completed for you. This is just taking that to the next step. Okay. So if you like to keep it simple, get the weed the lead sheet and you can start working off of that. All right. So the idea here is you got to find the keepers and throw the tire kickers back and stop wasting your time. A lot of guys get frustrated because you'll run out. Somebody calls, they want an estimate, and you're all excited. You jump in your truck, you drive 15 minutes, half hour, you get to the house, you spend another hour or two, then you come home, you write up the estimate, you send it over, and then nothing. You don't hear a word. And most likely it's because there was a misalignment. Maybe this client wanted, a new roof, siding, windows, and doors, and they had $5,000, and you just wrote them up a $60,000 estimate, right? So you could have eliminated all that by having a process where you just asked a few more questions over the phone, and you may never even had to have run out and waste your time and energy. So that's what this is all about, okay? The other thing is, remember, in the remodeling world, the big elephant in every room in the beginning is price. And so many of us are challenged to want to bring up price, and we don't. And we have all these ways to try to work it around. And at the end of the day, the sooner that you bring up price, the quicker you'll qualify the person and you'll know whether you're dealing with the right person or not. The homeowner wants to know what you're going to charge, right? And so they call to get estimates. If you can just give them some ballparks quickly over the phone, they can then go with the person who is in the ballpark that they're comfortable with. And you just solve a lot of time wasting issues. All right. So that's the elephant in the room that whenever you hear that, we're talking about price. So you want to bring it up early. All right. How do we think about this process? Understand that when you're creating a prompt in whether it's the GPT or Grok or Claude or DeepSeek, you want to give it parameters for how it is supposed to think and operate. So what I suggest is using something like this. Hey, act as a remodeling sales coach. Help me craft a quick 10-minute phone screening script, right? Couple essential questions. It's going to help weed out unqualified leads. Now, you will set up some parameters for what that means for you. Some of you, let's say you're a kitchen remodeler. Some of you, your typical kitchen remodel project is probably 25,000 to 75,000. There are others of you that your kitchen remodel starts at 125,000 and goes up. So you'll select the parameters for what works for you, your demographics, who you're trying to attract, right? And again, always remember, you got to address the elephant in the room early and transparently. So our goal is to decide by the end of the call whether this lead is a good fit or not. So you're going to answer some questions. You're going to put in your prompt. What are you? Are you a general contractor? Are you a deck builder, a kitchen remodeler, a bath guy, a basement guy? Whatever you do, fencing, right? And then this way, again, you want to be best formatted and be talking directly to the right person. And you want to make sure that the people that you're talking to value the quality and are on par for what you offer, right? So if some of you guys are more on the lower end, then that's who you target and go after. If some of you are on the higher end, that's who you target and go after. So you want to verify. And the way we frame it when we're talking to a client, we say, Mr. and Ms. Smith, I'm sure that you're talking to a few people, or you are wanting to make sure that you figure out who's the best contractor for you. And us, as a professional remodeling company who's been in years for business and has hundreds, if not thousands of satisfied clients, it's very important for us to also interview and screen who we work for, because unfortunately not every client is a good fit for us, and we want to make sure that we just work with those that are going to be the best for our business, just like you're looking to work with those who are going to be the best for your home. Does that make sense to you? Right? And then you move on. So here we go, right? Things you're going to answer. You're going to put down your trade. You're going to put in like a minimum, maximum project value, and you're going to put in the core values that you demand in your clients. All right. For us, we valued clients that valued quality over price. And we wanted homeowners that are able to make decisions promptly so that we can move the projects along. We don't like them being stalled with indecisions and like committees and boards and all these things. Also, we want clients that respect professional expertise. All right. And then I put in some things that are deal breakers, right? So if I hear over the phone that the client's getting 3 bids minimum, like that is not going to be an A client, because now I know they don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to chop or shop for the cheapest price. If somebody says, I just need a ballpark, right? That already is, again, letting me know this probably isn't an ideal client. And if they start off by saying, can you beat a competitor's price, right? Most likely these aren't the type of people we want to deal with. Now, I will say that a talented phone person can ask additional supplemental questions to any of those to verify exactly why the person's doing what they're doing. And sometimes you can find that maybe this person is someone you want to work with. But these should be things that come up immediately to say, oh, this might not be the ideal client. And I'm speaking for myself, right? Some of you might like to bid. I know one gentleman, he's a solo guy, And his motto is he just tells customers, hey, get some bids. And then when you're ready to hire me, just call me. I'll beat anybody's price. And I do it for like X% less. That's his sales process, right? Doesn't make a lot of money, is busy, does have work, but is constantly chasing, right? And is underbidding jobs all the time. That's his process. I wouldn't suggest that, but there's people that do it. Our process was more about finding the proper client that fit, that allowed us to have the profit margin that we needed to grow and to stay in business. Okay. So you also want to have some sort of a verification for how is this person paying for this project? And you want to bring it up first. All right. And you're going to find out, like, do they have their own funds? Is it because they have savings? Did they inherit money? They gotten a bonus? Are they going to take out money out of a home equity? Do they want to source you and see if you can offer financing? Right. One thing I'll note here that's a little outside of this is I hear a lot of guys always saying, well, I don't want to deal with anyone who doesn't have the money. And what I would say to you is there are a lot of wealthy people that have the money and they aren't using their own money because their own personal money, their savings is invested in things that makes them more money. And they don't want to pull money out to invest into their remodeling project. So oftentimes, because their money is doing better things where it's at, they want to borrow and utilize somebody else's money. Hence, they want financing because a lot of wealthy people have streams of income coming in every month that they pretty much can guarantee that it's better for them to keep their money out working for them, earning a return, interest, whatnot, and they'll borrow someone else's money to pay for a project. So I would say for many of you, if you're not currently offering financing, to reach out to us. We can help you get over that hump to where you're like, man, we do now offer financing. And trust me, it makes the sale process much easier. All right. So another part here, these are some of the interesting questions, right? To ensure we're a good fit, right? We break down the pricing. So what we say to clients is, hey, all right, so you're looking to do this bath. All right. And you live in this neighborhood. And okay, so it's a hall bath. It's going to be a 3-piece, right? So it's a tub shower combo. There's going to be a vanity and a toilet. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, houses that were built in your time frame, in your area, we typically do them. And the cost in the past has been, let's say, $18,000. Now, we have ranges. We've had some clients that maybe wanted to save a little bit. So maybe we do it at 15. We've had other clients that have a lot of nice bells and whistles that they want. And we've gone up to 30,000 for that. Tell me, after hearing those numbers, what sounds most appealing to you? Where were you hoping your bath project would be, right? And then you be quiet and you just let them answer and tell you where it is. So that's how we bring budget up quickly and easily and get it out of the way. Another thing we want to do is talk about value. We want to understand what is important to this client. So we'll ask them something along these lines. Hey, when selecting a remodeler, what matters more to you? Are you looking for the cheapest and lowest price? Are you looking for someone who builds with quality, something that you can trust? Are you looking for someone who's going to be able to get the project done on time, like they say, when they say, and how they say they're going to do it, for what they said it was going to cost the whole time? Like, what is it that you value? What's most important? We've had many clients over the years that price is not the first thing. They want to find someone. For instance, we have quite a few people that have us work on properties that they're not currently in because they're investment property, vacation home, it's their second home, or they wait till they're going to be going on vacation from their primary home and they'll have us come in and do the remodel while they're away. So you have people that sometimes want to hire a remodeler who they can trust to their asset to and say, hey, look, Mike, we're going to be going away for a month. And while we're away, we'd like you guys to come in, tear out that bathroom, do this over here and put that over there, move that wall. And we're like, great. So every homeowner has something different that they value, and the reality is it's not always price. All right, you also have to figure out who all is going to be involved in the decision-making process. In certain states, right, if it's a homeowner jointly owned, you need both homeowners involved in any signing of any documents regarding the remodel. So keep that in mind. But you also don't want to be getting too far into a process and then realizing that, yes, Sally might be living in the house, but Sally is part of a trust. Her parents actually own the property, and Sally's just doing the legwork. But the trust, this lawyer, her in-law, like an aunt, somebody else is actually going to be funding it, paying for it, and part of the decision process. So before you get too far along, you might say, hey, do we need to have that person involved in some of these decisions? All right. Also want to make sure that you guys are a good match for when the project is supposed to start and be completed. A lot of homeowners wait till the last minute to call a contractor, and they think that they can just get the job done in a couple weeks. They don't realize that most of the time they should have been planning it a year ago. So you want to walk them through that and help them understand how that works. Also, you want to talk about a professional alignment, right? So if you are a remodeler that has a team and you have project managers, lead carpenters, you have someone in the office, a salesperson, then you're going to have a much different process that you go through, and your level of professionalism, ideally, the bar is going to be raised for you, as opposed to more of the Chuck in the truck guy, right, who just rides around the pickup truck looking for the cheapest price all the time. And you have to understand, I had my grandmother used to always say, I don't want a realtor job. And what she meant was, she go, Mike, we need something fixed at the house and we don't want a realtor job. And she meant was, Mike, when you send your guys over, do it professionally, do it well. We don't want the cheap quick fix that's not going to last. Okay. However, there's a lot of people that if they're prepping a house to sell, they want that realtor job. They want it done quick, cheap, and easy. You have to see, does that align with the way you go about your business, right? You may have a couple guys on your team that can do that type of work in those situations to help some people out. So maybe you handle that. Or you might say, hey, we're expert craftsmen. We only do this kind of work. And then you know that this is not a client to be wasting any more time with. And you just refer them to your competition and move on. You also want to do something of a qualification type check. You want to see if your prospect has worked with professional specialty tradesmen like yourself. If they have, it's good to find out what was that experience like. And here's where I'm going. There are some people out there that perpetually are trouble, and they just have trouble with everyone they've ever hired. You think you're going to be different. And the reality is, if they've always had trouble with every contractor they've ever hired, they're going to find a way to have trouble with you. And that's when you can just thank them so much for calling, let them know that probably isn't a good fit, and give them a great recommendation of your competitor. You'd rather have them waste their time. All right. So you also do what we call the commitment test. So our motto was, we didn't like to give estimates for free. And we found ways that we get paid for that. So our next step on an initial phone call is what we call the commitment test. And then we go, Mr. and Ms. Smith, thank you for answering all these questions. Our next step, if you'd like to move forward with us, is we would charge X to come out and do the following. Call it a site assessment, a design process, a feasibility process, whatever term you want to use, we can help you come up with that. There are hundreds of different ways to language it, but at the end of the day, you're doing some sort of a diagnostic, a site visit, a planning, a design, and that is something that you get compensated for. All right. So once we've done all that, now we're ready to have our form. We can put all that into ChatGPT and it'll print out for us. And then we can come up with a way to score people. So let's jump over to ChatGPT for a moment. Let me close this down or minimize it. Just give me 1 second. All right. So we're going to do a new chat. And let's go. Give me 1 second. So here I have the prompt all done. It's an AI prompt. And we will go through this, and then that'll be about it for today. Copy and paste. All right. So again, we're going to put in here our thought process. We want to craft a quick 10-minute phone screening script with at least 5 essential questions. And we're going to have a polite way to ask the client about their budget early. So we address that elephant in the room. The goal is to decide by the call's end whether this lead is a good fit for my services. All right. In this situation, the question to answer is, I am a kitchen and bath remodeler, and I want to make sure the potential client I am talking to is best suited to be my ideal client. I want to make sure they value the quality, and I'm not just looking for the cheapest solution. I need to verify that my company provides solutions for their problem and that they have the ability to afford my services and that they want to work with a professional company such as ours. Okay, so here we go. This is what we call the AI-powered lead qualification system core philosophies, right? So we're going to stop chasing the tire kickers. We're going to invest only in clients who value our expertise. So we define our ideal client profile. It's called the ICP, right? You complete this before using the prompt. So in our situation for the kitchen bath remodeler, the minimum project value is going to be $15K, right? And we want some core values that they demand and value quality over price. They make decisions promptly and they respect professional expertise. Okay. So we also have a couple of what we call just deal breaker attitudes. If they're going to be getting 3 minimum bids, if they just want a ballpark number and they ask, can you beat a competitor's price? All right. So, and then we have the final verification where we're going to talk about the financing. And we also may get into a property assessment to see if they have equity, if they need to look into how they're going to get the money. We help figure that part out for them. So we have a couple warm-up questions. What is their name? After that, we want to find a polite way to ask a few more generic questions before we jump right into the budget, right? So remember that personality goes a long way. So whoever is on your phone making the introduction, when a homeowner says, oh, I'm looking to do my bath remodel. Oh, that's great. Tell us, what is it about the bath remodel you're looking forward to, right? Tell me more about this dream bath that you are hoping to have. And then we want to find out, okay, where's the property located? All right, because we want to make sure it's in our service area. Hey, are you the sole owner? You know, we want to figure that out. And when are you looking to have the project done? Not when are you looking to have it started. We want to know, when are you looking to have the project completed, right? And then we say, oh, hey, by the way, how are you planning to pay for this? And we say, do you have the money, or were you looking for some funding and financing options, right? And now we're ready to act as the veteran remodeler. And we put in here sales trainer just to help the prompt, because we want to now talk a little bit with the person about the budget, right? To ensure that they're a good fit. So we give them some sort of a range. You do a ballpark. There's various ways you can go about this. We do a value assessment. We want to see what they're looking for. We see what their decision authority, right? The urgency validation, the professional alignment, the qualification check, the commitment test. The commitment test is the last thing. All right. So once we put all that in there, we hit this button on ChatGPT, and here you go. It's going to spit out for you your AI-powered 10-minute lead qualification phone script, right? So here's the way your person answers the phone. Thanks for reaching out. We have a few questions to see if this project we'd be the right fit for and to save us both time, right? And then you get in, here's the basic info. And here are some of the qualification questions. And it's letting you know if yes, perfect. If no, totally understand. We're probably not the right fit, right? It's helping whoever's going to be handling the call understand how their decision tree. Yes, go here. No, say this. All right. So we do a value assessment. And again, we want them to be on our side of the page here. If it's a red flag, We do the urgency, the qualification check, the commitment test. Here are the red flag cues. It doesn't mean that it's 100% a no. It's just letting us know this isn't ideal, and we may need to ask a couple more questions, dig a little bit deeper about why they're doing what they're doing. So here are some really good transition phrases. So that I don't waste your time, let me ask up front, hey, we're a little different than most contractors. This next question may sound direct, but it's important. I appreciate you being open. That helps me make sure we can really help. I'd rather be upfront now than disappoint you later. I wouldn't use the word honest. Whenever you say to someone, I want to be honest with you, it can make them think that other times you're not being honest. So the best way is just not to use that. I am a little surprised that ChatGPT would put that in there. But again, look, ChatGPT is not 100% perfect all the time. It's very good most of the time. And at any point, so what we often will do is I will take something like this. I'll highlight the things that I want. And, here's my script that I want right here. So I'll copy that, and then I'll just open up a new Google Doc, right? A blank document. And then I can paste that here. And now I can get to editing. So like at the end here, I would not say I'd rather be honest. Say I'd rather be upfront now. Right? Then disappoint you later. Okay. So then boom. And now you have something that you can file and save and print and share within the company. So I hope this was helpful for everyone. And we will be doing this every day for the next 30 days. So if we can assist you and you have any questions, if you want to know anything ahead of time, reach out. The best place to go is to Remodelers, helping remodelers. Give me a second and we will put that up here, and then that'll be it for today. Oops. All right. So this is the page that you guys want to look for. Remodelers helping remodelers. You want to join this if you're not already. We will post the replay or a link to the video in here, and you can get questions. Also, obviously, some of the things I mentioned and put in this, it might not be 100% in the script. So if you may have some questions for how you can specifically tailor your prompt, all you got to do is come in here and you can ask any questions, right? And this is a new group that we have created from the Remodeling Academy. We're excited about it. It will be a growing group. And what's nice about this is I'm a longtime remodeler. I struggled in the beginning, was frustrated, and I found ways that make business very easy and successful for me. And people would ask me about it, and I would share with them. And I found that I enjoyed doing that part a lot. And that's why I created the Remodeling Academy. My experience in the remodeling industry, one of the reasons why I chose to get into it, when I got out of school, I knew I wanted to be in business. I wanted to be an entrepreneur and start my own business. I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do. And I was dealing with contractors and remodelers for another industry. And I noticed that overall, the level of professionalism, where the bar was set, how competitive. It was very competitive and still is at the low end, right? There's all these bottom chasers. Everyone's racing to the bottom to be the cheapest. What you don't find in remodeling is a lot of people that rise to the top. So once you become talented and you are running a good professional remodeling business, it is a fairly easy industry to do well in because the bar is set really low. And that is why we created the Remodeling Academy, to help those of you that are interested. Here's the thing. While what I teach and share here is available to everyone, it is not for, it's available, right, for anyone out there. However, it's not going to be for everyone, because the reality is not everyone's going to be successful. Most people want to just do it the way they do it, and they're going to struggle and be frustrated. However, there are many out there who want to get a fast track, and this is how you can do that. So we look forward to having you come be a part of the Remodeler Helping Remodeler Facebook group. All right. And then here's that. Again, this is the 30-day AI prompt challenge. So we look forward to having as many of you as possible. All right. Thank you for joining us today. Take care.